going on, guys? So I'm going to let you know from the start of this video that I didn't take any normal notes that I do when I watch these shows. Like, I watched this episode of Flash and I was like, I just want to watch this and just see how I feel about it. Usually when I watch stuff like Gotham or Arrow or whatever I cover for that day, I usually have like a little notepad or something where I'm writing down notes like, oh, that was cool, that was good. I didn't do that with Flash. And you've noticed over the summer, over the time that this was gone, that I wasn't really doing Flash videos just because I was so, like, I wasn't excited about this season. I wasn't excited about a lot of the CW shows, to be honest, just because, I don't know, I've had a little, like, me and reviews are kind of, like, in a fighting right now, just because, I don't know, I'm in this weird funk. But I want to say, like, I just didn't take my normal notes with this show because I wanted to see what Flash was going to do. And I don't know, like, I'm going to tell you this might get a little ranty, but at the same time I want to have a discussion with you guys about this show because I feel like some of us, we might treat this show a little harsher than other people, but I also think a lot of people treat this show with a lot more love than other people, like this show can do no wrong, and I feel like we should all be in the middle and really thinking about this show, about how it could be a lot better, and talk about where it has some flaws. Because personally, I think this show's got a lot of flaws, but I think we've seen that this show can be amazing. One, a lot of people were hitting me up with comments like, oh my god, they freaking showed the Thinker on the first episode, like what are they doing? Like, that was your biggest issue with this episode, was that they showed the Thinker at the very end. I'm totally down with that. You want to know why? And I know people are probably like, oh my god, Juice like that? What? Yeah, I actually like that because you know what? We don't gotta fucking worry about a reveal. We don't have to be like, oh my god, who's the masked man? Oh my god, is it freaking Joe? Oh my god, is it Cisco? Oh my god, is Caitlin the Thinker? Like, no, we don't have to worry about any of that. We know who the Thinker is from day one. That is awesome because I've gotten tired of these reveals. Flash has been the same shit for 3 seasons. Speedster, reveal, oh my god, and we're done. Like, the Thinker has been shown. His face, he's in a big old chair like he's freaking Thanos. Like, it's just, we know who he is, and I actually like that. I will say the one thing I still hate about this show is that everything gets solved in one episode, and that, that got me so mad watching this, and I was just like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Barry literally comes back in one episode and is back to normal in one episode. Are you kidding me? The only way that this is going to, you know what, I'll eat my words on this, is if Barry has problems throughout the rest of the season, or at least maybe like the first 3 or 4 episodes, that, you know, maybe he forgets his memory, or, you know, he doesn't know how to do things, or whatever. But if he's 100% back to normal and he doesn't have any crazy issues, which they kind of seem like he was already back to being the Flash at the end of this episode, I think this is dumb. I hate, and I mentioned this so much last year, I hate how the Flash solves every problem episode to episode. That was my biggest thing about this freaking episode. Like, oh my god, I can't. You could have stretched this out for 3, at least 2 episodes. You could have stretched out his memory loss and him taking, like, just time to try to figure this out. You know what would have been better? Instead of him just saving Iris and putting his suit on and doing whatever, if, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Iris is his lightning rod, she always brings it back. Yeah, I get that, have no problem that Iris is his lightning rod, but he could still have real, like, issues with him. He was stuck in the Speed Force for like 5, 6 months, something like that. And then he just automatically comes back when the moment Iris is in trouble. You could have had him still save Iris, but what if he didn't take his suit? What if he forgot the main components? Like, he was just on autopilot and just saved it. I know a lot of people are like, well, his autopilot is probably the Flash, but give me a little bit more than just him being back to normal. If he would have saved Iris and brought her back, and then she's all like, Barry, you saved me. He's like, oh yeah, and then he started freaking out, and was like, and then he had to go back to his cell. That would have been better. Like, he still saves Iris just because it's so, like, instinctual for him. That would have been better than him just being like, oh, hey, we're back. Hey, I love you. Oh, my God. What have you been doing? Me. Like, I hated it. That was an issue presented in this episode. We saw him come back, and he was crazy, whatever, and then it was fixed in this same episode. I hated that. I hated that. Now, we saw last season, like, Caitlyn's back to normal, and then we saw her go back to Killer Frost in the same episode, which I thought that was really cool, but she's back on the team. Like, it's like, hell yeah, that's what I wanted, but apparently she's able to go from Killer Frost to Caitlyn somehow. I don't know what she's doing. It's probably with that neck thing. Then it's probably not, because I feel like she changed it. But, yeah, so we know that there's going to be a storyline with Caitlyn. Apparently she got in with some bad people, and they're probably going to be coming after her during the season. I'm intrigued about that. I want to know what she was doing in this 5 or 6 months that made her work at a bar. Some people might be like, oh, I hate how freaking Caitlyn's already back to perfect or whatever, which she's technically not, because like I said, she went back to Killer Frost. But that happened over 5 or 6 months. That is totally okay to have those kind of things. That is not changed technically from episode to episode because we had a huge gap. That makes more sense. Same thing with Cisco finding out the technology to bring Barry back. He says he's been working on it since the day Barry went into the Speed Force, meaning that's 5 or 6 months that he's been planning. He didn't just be like, oh yeah, I can fix this today, bada bing, bada boom. No, he actually has been working on it. He needed Caitlyn to actually help him. They finally team up together. They're able to solve problems like they used to and bring Barry back. That makes sense. Joe and Cecile moving in together, they could have bonded 5 or 6 months over that time, and it makes sense that they're moving in together. Those kind of things are okay to have happen immediately after 5 or 6 months. But having Barry be in the Speed Force for 5 or 6 months, come out really crazy, he is writing freaking things on the wall because he's doing whatever he's doing, and then he automatically comes back and is the normal person he was at the end of season 3 just because Iris is in trouble. I call bullshit. I'm sorry, I know you guys think that I hate this show and they're like, oh dude, you're never happy, and I'm sorry, it's just as a fan, I want these shows to be amazing. Flash has shown us that it can be amazing, but it just took that like, oh my god, everybody loved this and did it for 2 more seasons. That made me hate it. And then it's always done this solving things episode to episode thing, but I feel like you add so much more drama, you add so much more suspense when you stretch this stuff out. Like, and I don't know, and I don't know, I want to know what you guys think about this, but do you think this show is starting to become a little bit more kiddish or kid-friendly? They did say that this season was going to have a lighter tone to it because last season was so dark and whatnot, which I'm okay with. I want to see a lighter, better Barry. I'm tired of seeing emo Barry, of him getting like, oh my god, Iris. Like, I'm getting tired of that. I hated Iris in this episode. Starting to think I don't really like her character at all, to be honest. But, you know, I get why she was the way she was, but she was being a total just bitch in this episode. But if we're going to get a lighter Barry, we're going to get a lighter Iris, they're not going to complain as much as they did last season, and the whole season's not going to be just about them, then I'm totally on board with that, and I hope that improves. But, you know, did you see the previews to the next episode? Like, I don't know if you guys saw that, but the preview just showed Fat Barry. Like, the suit explodes, and he's like a big fat Barry, because Cisco apparently thought that would be good to have in his suit. And I was like, why? Why? Why are you gonna, what? You know, that's probably a little nitpicky, but like, I just saw it and I was just like, that looks so dumb. Like, I don't get, wouldn't Barry just like, if he's in the water or something, spin shit? I mean, I don't know if that's so they can make the suit fat in case he gets knocked off, or he gets like freaking knocked out and he falls in water and then they can save him that way. But, you know, what if the suit, like, floats upside down and his head's in the water and then he would still drown? So, you know, there's still things that it wouldn't work. I don't know. I want to like this show again, but I don't know. Maybe I'm past the point. Maybe I won't ever like this show, and I'm just going to always be like, that's dumb, that's dumb, that's dumb. It's a very good possibility because Season 3 totally ruined this for me. But the reason why I have hope and the reason why I will continue to watch, not necessarily say I'm going to like everything about it, is after I saw what Arrow was able to come back from, Arrow was able to have a terrible Season 4 and come back and make Season 5 amazing. That's what gets me excited or gives me hope to keep watching The Flash. Because if Arrow can do it, The Flash can do it. But a lot of people have tweeted me saying, they're like, dude, I think Season 4 of Flash is going to be Season 4 of Arrow. And if that's the case, that scares me because there's all these rumors, or there's not rumors, but there's been a poster out that Iris and Barry are going to get married this season. Still think it's a little too soon, but whatever. So yeah, they're going to get married this season during the crossover. And so we might have this whole, like, Felicity Oliver thing going on. And everybody saw how terrible that went. And I don't know, camera stopped recording. But yeah, I'm not excited about a wedding or whatever in this show. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. How did you guys feel about this episode? I will say that it was an okay episode. I was annoyed heavily by Barry coming out of the coma or coming out of that whole craziness immediately and just saving Iris. But I mean, it was a cool action scene of him running through weather, you know, the windmill things. That was kind of cool. What else? It seemed like Wally and Cisco having a team together was kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just, I don't know. I want this season to, hopefully it gets a lot better. Hopefully there's some crazy cliffhangers. Hopefully there's some things that don't get solved in every episode and it lingers on a couple more episodes to make it a little bit more suspenseful. But as of right now, I'm not super excited about this show. And we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. I do want to know your guys' opinions on this. Like I said, I am excited to see where Caitlyn's storyline goes. I'm excited to see who the Thinker is, or like what he's going to be able to do, since we don't have to worry about his reveal, all that jazz. We got the elongated man eventually coming to this show, so I want to see how that's going to work. So there's plenty of things that are going to get me excited to continue watching this. But as of right now, I don't like how it started off. But I do want to hear your thoughts on this episode of The Flash in the comment sections down below. Wait, before I go, I do want to talk about one thing that did really, really annoy me right at the start of this episode. And it's probably what put my mind in that, like, ooh, I hate you, Iris. Is, first of all, in 5 or 6 months, like, I get people can learn things very, very quickly. But, Iris is able to program things for speedsters now. Like, I thought that was more of a Cisco job. But apparently, Iris can make simulations for Wally now, and Wally's like, what do you mean 4 hours? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I wish they would kind of, like, see how that is. Like, how does she just learn how to program things for speedsters? Like, you know, Cisco's a genius, Caitlyn's a genius. They've never said Iris is a genius. I know she's, like, a badass woman, and she's freaking a writer, reporter, but, you know, you can be badass in one area and not the best in another area. How is she programming stuff for speedsters? I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's not hard and anybody can pick it up. So let's go ahead and just say that the character's badass enough to do that. But it don't seem that. Speedster logic and shit just seems like it's very complicated. And I want to say Iris and Joe in the past have been like, oh yeah, can you explain that better? I could be wrong there, and I do open myself up to be corrected on that if Iris has done anything crazier. But just hearing that she's able to program stuff for Wally, I was just like, that doesn't seem like something you can learn in 5 to 6 months, but whatever. Also, when did Iris get teleporting powers? That's what I want to know. Like, seriously, because the moment the freaking samurai shows up and he's like destroying the Earth, he flies by her apartment and then she's at Star Labs immediately. Like, when did she get teleporting powers? When did Iris become a meta that can freaking be like Peekaboo and just go everywhere she wants immediately? There is no freaking way she could get from Star Labs to there. Because even if you think about it, that dude flew by her apartment. So some people are going to be like, oh shit, what's going on? That means it's probably going to be hard to get an Uber. Because Uber's going to be like, nah, there's like a meta going around. We're not going to deal with this. Sorry, we're going to increase the rates by 2.5%. Because, you know, we're putting our lives in danger here. I know some people caught on to that. Because, damn, she teleported to Star Labs. Like, I'm pretty sure Barry does not live across the street from Star Labs. So, yeah. Thought that was very interesting. But yeah, now to go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section down below. Guys and gals, if you ever want to support this channel, you can check out the Patreon like these awesome people did. Or you can come hang out with us over on twitch.tv/JUICEfromtheBOX. Or, get there, because, you know, there's always another or. You can always do the OG thing and give this video a thumbs up and share it with all of your Flash buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bam!